Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today we're working on this bracelet, which I have already forgotten the pattern number to. I think this was 4003, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on, I will double check it. Yes, 4003. One of the first things I kind of noticed once we kind of got into the real meat and potatoes of this bracelet is it is surprisingly a lot like a bracelet that I made not that long ago. A while back we did one where basically there was like a gray and like another color that you didn't really get to see much of. They were at the very beginning of the bracelet, which made it a little bit easier to start. But then for the most part, it was this like a never-ending part of an arrowhead. It's very similar to that, with the difference being that because it starts out a little bit different, it kind of makes it like you don't use some of the strings as much. Like, well, orange pretty much gets used from beginning to the end with a little exception in the middle. So that is the string that's absolute shortest, followed by the red. Red was the next color that got used the most. For the most part, most of the other strings, not used nearly at the same amounts. Like, so if you're trying to be conservative when you do cut your string, just make sure that you take into account that red and orange are going to get used the most. But like I said, this is like similar to something else we've done. But then I started thinking about it. Like, the whole notion was we were looking at a pattern that somebody else has created and we wanted to put our own spin on it. And so it got changed in the middle, and I showed you how to do that. And I showed you how to customize and create. And that's kind of what I've been trying to get this channel to be about. And I still see, like, you know, to this day, a number of people who, rather than trying to learn how to fill in a template, just simply ask for a bracelet number or ask how to start a bracelet, when you can totally like make it easier, you can make it harder, you can change up the aspects of like where you come into it and what you do with a design. And I guess I don't get my message out to as many people as I'd like, because I would love it if people were like, you know, oh, you have choices, as opposed to just showing an arrow or, you know, like a chevron in one direction or another and like pointing at the pattern. Like, I would start here, or, you know, I would rather see a discussion based on this idea that you can take the part that you like, add on a part that will make it easier, and create something completely unique. And yeah, I really kind of want to put more emphasis on this in my future videos about being able to make things yourself, changing things up, and having some fun with it, because I really think that's pretty significant, that we should all have fun with making bracelets. And yeah, like being able to change it. Like, so this one is, there's 5 of those little diamonds with like the blue square and the red going around it. There's 5 of those. I guess that's purple, and then the red's outside of it. There's 5 of those. Some of the other ones we did, there was like 2. We did one where there was 7 on one side. That was the one with the just had the little gray chevron at the end. Yeah, I probably used portions of this kind of design in so many different ways, so many different approaches to it, and each one is itself like a uniquely different bracelet. Like, it's okay to say like a nuanced changes everything, because it kind of does. It really, a little bit of a change in there and you can get like, I don't know how to describe the pattern. It's like got little figure eights in there and changes between the sets of colors. You can do like lights and darks, or like hot colors and cold colors. And yeah, that was like a staple of my bracelet making back in the 90s. Made all kinds of those because they were fun and they were simple. Oh, this is the center. I need to thank my YouTube members for making this possible. These are the people who definitely help make this channel what it is. And yeah, I am absolutely grateful to you guys. You know, it's a lot of expenses that go into all of this, including a website. Like, so if you want to see this pattern, you can go over to the website and it'll be there. Yeah, the website has a lot of cool stuff. Like you can go to like the more advanced designs where I make bags and stuff. You can go to beginners stuff where I try to help people just getting started into making bracelets, give them some patterns and designs that they can try to work out and conquer before going on to the more difficult stuff. Because I think that's what is the most discouraging part, is when a beginner tries to do something that's too advanced and then you just want to give up. Like you there's no point in keeping trying if it's beyond your skill set. Like when I first learned, I only knew how to do a candy stripe. And so trying to do better and better candy stripes was easy and got me really kind of hooked on the whole thing about tying knots. And then I learned that if I tied the knot backwards, I could make chevrons. And then kind of in that first chevron bracelet, I was like, hang on, and started something of a dovetail, which was basically my next chevron-ish bracelet was a dovetail bracelet, because it just made sense. So, you know, starting off real nice and easy and working them into something interesting before getting yourself wrapped up into trying something that's super insane like this one. Like, this is probably intermediate. I'm sure there are some people who think they're beginners that could do it, but if you're doing this, you're a little bit beyond just a beginner, to be honest. So, yeah, we're getting close towards the end here. This is pretty cool. Hang on. Let me see if I can see how much time is left. But yeah, I want you guys to have the most fun in making bracelets. I want you guys to be able to come up with designs your own, or maybe you see a pattern that you're interested in, to have the skill set to know how to be able to map it out and be able to figure out how to do that all on your own. Because I really think that's kind of fun as well. So, granted, it probably means you need a computer, but I feel like everybody's kind of got access nowadays, like from schools or from libraries or whatever. You know, then you just print out the pattern afterwards. Yeah, here comes the end. This is where the strings, the green and the blue, are already finished. The orange is getting into the last little bits of the diamond. Yeah. All right. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.